Hello cyclocross friends and welcome to episode 14 of Cyclocross Television. We are at Kingswood Park in Deerfield Township, Ohio for the Kings CXC1 women's race. It is cold and damp in the park and steady rains have created slick conditions on a track that features a constant barrage of off-camber turns. On the front row are your favorites, Katie Keough from Cannondale Cyclocross World, Trek Factory Racing's Ellen Noble, and the always dangerous Katarina Nash from Cliff Pro Team. The start is a long uphill slog for the field with the possible exception of Noble, who goes out fast and even gives a quick look back as if surprised that her start was that good. Noble keeps that lead as she enters the triple camel section on this multi-cameled course. Noble and Keough get through the first off-camber clean, but Becca Faringer loses traction, taking Courtney McFadden down with her. That leaves Noble and Keough up front, with Katie Klaus in third and Nash moving up. Kings CX takes place on an old golf course, and the topography reflects its old purpose with many undulations. At the top of the next hump, Faringer goes down again and an unlucky McFadden goes with her. On the approach to the backside of the big camel, Noble has snuck away with Keough a few seconds back. Nash is in third with Klaus in fourth. On the descent, keep an eye on the different lines. Noble hugs the outside and goes really low, seeking out the clean grass. Keough takes the middle ground and Nash stays high. Klaus and McFadden also stay high, and you can see the issue with that line at the feature's exit. Still on lap 1 and Noble remains out front. The hedgerow path off cambers require a quick tripod around the first turn and some power on the exit. The final exit has degraded to the point that it's quicker to dismount and run. The run-up in the woods was created by the groundskeepers of the old golf course who dumped all of the old sand from the sand traps in this section. Rideable when dry, it was a tall order to stay on the bike with the constant rain. The organizers created makeshift steps on the left side of the hill, mainly for the junior fields, but these were pretty much gone by the afternoon elite races. By pit 2 and heading to the front side of the big camel, and Nash has passed Keough and is closing in on Noble. Keough has dropped off the pace by more than a handful of seconds. The first U-turn of the camel has given most rider fits. Noble continues to hit the outside on these turns, which sets her up perfectly for the leg-busting power climb. Nash follows the same line and is right there. At the next U-turn, Noble muscles her way to the top while Nash falters. This allows Noble a bit of breathing room as she descends to the planks and the finishing straight. The finish of this race throws a lot at the riders. The camel, the planks, a tricky grass to the tarmac transition, and a long uphill sprint all happen in the last minute of the lap. Lots of places to plan an attack or make a mistake. We are on lap 2 and Noble is out front of Nash by a few bike lengths. Nash is the veteran mountain bike rider who has raced and won on all levels in every condition. On paper, she has the advantage through these slick technical features. But Noble is taking a clean line on the top of the track and riding as smoothly as the veteran. When the track straightens out, she's able to open up the speed before the next feature. Back at the camel's yellow side, and Noble continues to take the longer, safer outside line. Nash, being the wily veteran, follows suit, but doesn't take it quite low enough, stalling out while Noble motors on. That bobble and Noble's constant pressure opens up a 4-second lead as the leading pair head to the woods. Nash pulls back a second on the tricky off-cambers. Anywhere with a speed limit, she is picking up time. Keogh, meanwhile, is in the lonely spot between the leading pair and a larger group of chasers. On the run-up, Noble uses the remaining steps on her left as Nash opts for the line on the right. Back in the open fields, and Noble again starts to push the pace. By the time she gets to the Camel's red side, Noble has a 10-second lead over Nash. Down the descent and to the planks. Nash continues to lose ground as Noble is out of the saddle and charging up the finishing straight. Back to the tricky off-cambers, and Noble looks like she has a safe margin to work with over Nash. But this is cyclocross, and a comfortable margin can go to no margin in an instant. Here, Noble recovers from the spill without issue and loses no more than a second or two. Nash, although staying upright, also has some difficulty with the increasingly difficult section. As Noble enters the yellow camel, Nash has made up ground and is working to reel in the leader. On the descent, Nash doesn't fully commit to that bottom line again. You can see the advantage Noble gets as she has a longer runway to catapult out of the turn. Noble displaying some picture-perfect dismount technique as she finishes the lakeside off-cambers and heads back to the woods. In the hidden part of the course, Nash has clawed back to within 5 seconds of the lead. On the run-up, Nash once again follows Noble's lead and tries out the makeshift stairs on the left side. In the final turns of the red camel, Nash is back within 3 seconds, but a hiccup at the top allows Noble to shoot back ahead. Over the planks and toward the finishing stretch. Once under the banner, there is about an 8-second lead and 2 laps to go. This time through the tricky off-cambers, Noble rides it clean and it's Nash who slips. Noble pounces, takes a look back, and sees she has put in some significant time on Nash. Here's another angle of Noble's superior line. As we say in cyclocross, green means go. You hit the green, you go fast. Nash on this lap commits to the low line, and you can see the better result on her exit. On the front side of the camel, you can see Noble sticking to a similar plan, hugging the fencing and setting up the longest runway possible to attack the climb. Nash does the same, clinging to the small patch of green right up against the fence. Noble knows she's going to get the bell and is all in at this point, sprinting up the finishing hill like it's the final lap instead of one to go. As we pan back, Nash is just starting the long stretch to the finish as Noble clears it for the penultimate time. Around the lake and toward the yellow camel, and Noble is charging. Nash hasn't given in though and is still looking to get back onto Noble's wheel. Looking farther back, there's a decent battle developing for 4th through 6th. Sofia Gomez-Vichafanye goes clear for 4th as her teammate McFadden sneaks ahead of Farringer, who continues to struggle with those early lap off cambers. One last time up the run-up for Noble. And a clean ride to the finish as she takes the victory on day 1 of King CX, marking her 5th straight UCI CX victory of the season. Nash takes 2nd place with Keogh in 3rd. Gomez-Vichafanye has a standout race finishing 4th, with McFadden, her teammate, finishing 5th.
First question.
Yeah.
Are you old enough to know who Aaron Sorkin is?
No, should I?
Okay, well, he was the producer of The West Wing, created The West Wing, and they created the walk and talk.
Okay.
You know, where you have conversations about your plot and everything while you're walking from place to place.
That.
Yeah, so we're going to do it.
Was that in Arrested Development at all as well?
I'm sure it's been
Some
like
weird stuff. It's
yeah,
been recreated.
it's been like everything since then.
Cool.
All right, Cyclocross Magazine guy, you're going to lead for me so I don't run into people. Okay, technical. Well, Katarina Nash on your wheel the whole time.
Yeah.
Whoop, too much. More. You are, you know, super mountain biker, great in the technical areas. Did that dictate how you race from the beginning?
Yeah, a little bit. So I'm actually really proud of my strategy today. I know we talk about strategy all the time, but for me today, I went out really hot and I was trying to really push those sections, but there's an absolute, very clear speed limit on course, and I think Katarina and I were both finding those for the first 3 laps. So I would get a gap, and then I'd make a mistake, and Katarina would come back, and then she'd make a mistake, and I'd get a gap, and so I realized, crazy idea, that if I just rode consistently and I stopped making mistakes, I would get a gap. So that's what I did, and I was able to get a pretty good lead with 2 to go and just really focus on riding ultra steady, and that was enough to get me the win. But yeah, I was really thinking, I knew that Katarina and I are similar riders technically, but I think that Katarina is much more of a diesel and I'm a little bit more punchy, so I tried to use that to my advantage today.